Which planet has the most powerful magnetic field in the solar system? Jupiter. Which vitamin is important for collagen formation and wound healing? Vitamin C. Which is the SI unit of frequency? Hertz. Which gas is the main component of natural gas? Methane. Which Indian state is the largest producer of silk? Karnataka. Which planet is known as the red planet? Mars. Who wrote the Indian national anthem? Rabindranath Tagore. Which gas do humans breathe in for survival? Oxygen. Which country hosted the 2024 Summer Olympics? France. Which is the longest river in the world? Nile. What is the currency of Japan? Yen. Who invented the telephone? Alexander Graham Bell. Which is the smallest continent? Australia. Which is the hardest natural substance? Diamond. Who was the first Prime Minister of India? Jawaharlal Nehru. Which is the largest ocean on Earth? Pacific Ocean. Which blood group is known as the universal donor? O negative. Which is the fastest land animal? Cheetah. Which vitamin is mainly obtained from sunlight? Vitamin D. Which country has the largest population in the world? India.
Which is the largest mammal in the world? Blue whale. What is the chemical symbol for gold? AU. Which country is known as the land of the rising sun? Japan. Which is the highest mountain in the world? Mount Everest. Which is the largest desert in the world? Antarctic Desert. How many players are there on the field in a football team? 11. Which is the national bird of India? Peacock.
Which is the national flower of India? Lotus. Which is the largest country in the world by area? Russia. Which is the largest organ in the human body? Skin. Which planet is closest to the sun? Mercury. Which is the largest species of eagle? Harpy eagle. Which is the highest peak in Australia? Mount Kosciuszko.
What is the capital of Brazil? Brasilia. Which instrument is used to measure relative humidity? Psychrometer. Which metal is commonly used in aircraft bodies because it is lightweight? Aluminum. Which part of the human body contains the cochlea? Ear. Which Indian city is known as the Diamond City of India? Surat. Which is the deepest lake in the world? Lake Baikal. Which Indian state is the largest producer of cotton? Gujarat. Which is the largest bone in the human skull? Mandible. Who was the first Indian woman to become a Supreme Court judge? Justice M. Fatima Bibi. Which acid is naturally present in apples? Malic acid. Which is the largest gulf in the world? Gulf of Mexico. Which Indian city is famous for the Sanchi Stupa nearby? Bhopal. Which atmospheric layer lies directly above the troposphere? Stratosphere. What is the capital of Canada? Ottawa. What is the largest planet in the solar system? Jupiter. Which is the largest gland of the human body? Liver.